Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome to my channel. This is Lisa Renee TV, and I'm Lisa. So hey, what's up? So this is my first YouTube video. So I just kind of want to discuss a few things that have been going on in the media and just things that I've been thinking about in general. So the first thing I want to start off with was the presidential debate, which happened a couple of nights ago between Governor Mitt Romney and our now President Barack Obama. Okay, so all in all, I thought the debate went really well. A lot of people seemed like they thought it wasn't like as fiery as it was like as the past two debates were, because the first debate between President Obama and Governor Romney, of course, it was not Obama's best shining moment, which everybody noticed. Like, okay, he was kind of, he didn't really come hard. He really did not go hard at all. Like, not as hard as he could have went. And then the second one, I mean, he was really on his game. They were like, back and forth, tit for tat, and just kind of like in each other's face. He's walking up in his personal bubble, his space, and I was like, yes. Needless to say, yes, I am an Obama supporter, but if you are a Romney supporter, that's on you. That's your business. And I do not judge or anything like that. I'm, not here to criticize or try to like make somebody, endorse somebody they don't want to endorse. So that's not my intention at all. But I'm just passing my opinion. So I thought the debate went well. What was really strikingly different about this debate, and you probably, if you've read up on like different, blogs or posts about the debate, and even if you read, I mean not read, but if you watch like the commentary between God, what is it called? I don't even know the name for them, but like I want to say like maybe people like Anderson Cooper or like Wolf Blitzer and stuff like that. They talk like after the debate. So they were saying Obama was like really he was really on it. And he was kind of just saying what he wanted to say, kind of attacking, Mitt Romney. And then Mitt Romney was kind of like taking the role of a victim, I think, because he didn't want to make himself, I guess, look like, what they call a warmonger, like he didn't want to say like, I'm just here so I can go against Obama. I'm just here so we can argue, So yeah, that was kind of an interesting viewpoint. I wonder, like, was that his strategy, like, for the whole thing? Like, did he planned that? Like, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do this debate and I'm not going to come for him like I did last time. Instead, I'm going to keep a cool head and I'm going to let him say whatever he going to say and I'm just going to agree with him. Because I just got to say, he seemed like he, like, was agreeing the whole lot. It was so weird because I'm like, okay, I'm trying to tell the difference between the two candidates. And they are different. Yes, they are, but they agreed on so much, though. So I was like, well, this is weird. Why is he agreeing so much with him? I'm like, where's the opposite here? So I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And it's so funny because I'm looking at my Facebook on my phone the whole time. And so it's like my Facebook page is like blowing up with like my friend, one of my friends, she was just like, she's seriously a Democrat. And she's like so against like Republicans and Mitt Romney. And she was just like snapping off everybody, just kind of going back and forth. But mostly, I'm just seeing like updated statuses and comments and stuff from her. So she really was going in. I was like, oh wow, wow. But other than that, I think the debate went really well, and I also find it interesting that they both are like they're really close. As far as like who's supporting them, the numbers are so close. Like dangerously close. Like he's ahead of him most of the time, but only by a few points, and so it's kind of interesting. And I just kind of wonder like how this whole thing is going to turn out. I'm really curious to see like what is going to happen, how the race is going to like end. Yeah, but I'm definitely looking forward to voting in a couple of weeks. I can't believe it's like almost here. That time is almost here. So this is definitely going to be a sight to see. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait at all. So another thing that was in the news yesterday. Yeah, I believe it was like yesterday. Richard Mourdoch, if you don't know who he is, he's the Indiana GOP Sorry, I'm looking at my notes, and they're like, what is she looking at over there? It's my notes. He's the Indiana GOP U.S. Senate candidate, and he opposes, he kind of came on the fire because he was talking about his viewpoint with pregnancy. He is pro-life. Okay. Yeah, he's pro-life. And he believes that, conception takes place because God wanted it to take place. And he came on the fire not because of that, but more so because of a controversial remark he made about rape. He says that even if a woman becomes impregnated from a rape, that abortion is still wrong in that case because obviously God wanted this to happen. So she has basically no right to abort the child, even though the child came from rape. Okay. First of all, and I don't want to go in too much on Republican people because in case I have Republicans watching this video, I don't have a problem with you guys. I love everybody. If you love me, I love you. So I'm not trying to talk down to Republicans, and I in no way, shape, or form am I saying all Republicans feel this way, but it just seems like, I don't know, so many of them, it's like they say stuff, and I'm like, you said that like you didn't know people was gonna be mad. Like, you said that as if, everything you say at your mouth is not gonna be favorable. I'm not saying trying to please people all the time. You can't please everybody, okay? But still, it's like you say stuff that you just should not say. I feel like everything you feel, you knew that, women have been raped in this country. Like, how could you say something like that? First of all, and another thing that's bothering me is that about this this whole election and just it's politics in general. Why are women's rights? I'm glad there are rights to get attention, but why are we even in this? I feel like our right to choose, make choices for our bodies as far as abortions go and birth control, these topics, I'm not sure why these politicians are using this, as fodder for, to get attention, from mainstream to get votes. Why are they trying to take our rights away? I think as women, as a woman, I'm really pissed off about that. I'm like, are you serious? Why are you even going there? Really? And so he's entitled to his opinion, and he wasn't saying he endorses rape. He doesn't endorse rape. I watched the video on the Huffington Post, and I also, I watched the video on the Huffington Post, and I also read the little, article and everything that went along with it. But I just feel like, I don't know. He's entitled to his opinion, but I'm like, why? I don't know why you would say that. I don't think politicians have no place in a woman's choice to, abort or to not abort a baby, whether it be by rape or consensual sex. I think that's a woman's business. It's a woman's right to choose. And I do not like the fact that all these men are kind of, just they're talking too much. They're doing the most, and it's the worst. I'm like, you need to have several. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go into my Tamar Braxton mode. You need to have several seats with that one, because I don't think you had a right to really come out and just say that. It just sounds so, I don't know, it's just very disturbing. And I am a religious person. I am a Christian. I love me some Jesus, Yeah, I love Jesus as well. I do think conception does have, I think God has a big part to do with conception. But I just feel like, personally, I'm just going to take my viewpoint about abortion when it comes to rape. I just feel like God knows everybody's heart, and I think he loves us all regardless of the mistakes we make or things we do or whatever it is. And you have to think about, man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart. And so I feel like if a woman was raped and she decided to, get an abortion, I don't think God would be like, I hate you now. You know what I'm saying? I think he understands. Millions of women have aborted rape babies. So, yeah, because some women can't deal with it. Psychologically, the trauma. You have no idea. And he's a man. You have no idea, how rape affects women in general, period. You don't even know. You have no idea, what it does to them. And so, you don't know. You don't know what a woman could be going through. You don't know, why she would make the decision to abort the baby. So I feel like, yeah, you might want to just back off. That's all I'm saying. You might want to back off. Okay, I didn't ran enough on that. I know y'all like, okay, she going off. Sorry, I had to go ham for a minute because I'm so irritated. How could you? Okay, so on to the next topic. Okay, so another thing that I was I got this from Facebook. One of my friends on Facebook, he goes to my school. He always has these really interesting statuses. They're really thought provoking. And this made me think, and his status was basically about why our generation, because I'm 24 years old, so why our generation, so basically like 80s, 90s babies, why we seem like we're so afraid of marriage and commitment and a real relationship, but when it comes to like sleeping around and hooking up, like we're so cool with it, like we'll do that in a heartbeat, without much thought. When it comes to like, oh, settling down and marrying and actually just staying with one person, just being satisfied with that, happy and stable, we're like, oh no, we can't do that. And I actually think there's two sides to this equation, but I'll talk about his status. Okay, so I personally have no problem with marriage. Like, I hope to get married like next year, the year after that, So I'm not in a relationship right now, but I would love to be. And like, I have no problem with marriage. I think marriage is a great thing when it's done correctly and when it's with the right two people. I think problems in marriage come in when you try to, marry somebody that you really shouldn't be marrying. Like, y'all really don't have anything in common, or y'all have like too many doubts. That's usually your gut telling you, like, yeah, maybe you need to like kind of back up on the whole marriage thing, because obviously this is not working for you too. So I think that's when a problem comes in as far as marriage goes. But other than that, like, I think marriage is great, and I think, okay, the random hookup stuff, I mean, I know a lot of us do that, if you're like not a virgin, so they would be the only exception, but a lot of people are not virgins, and so it's like, that's okay, that's cool, if you're doing a little random hookup thing, but I think after a while, a lot of people are like, okay, this is tiresome, I need to do something different, I need to, just get with one person, because you realize it causes a lot of confusion, and it cuts down on you, the chance of you contracting HIV or any other STD or STI that you don't need to be contracting. And so it cuts down that chance of you, contracting anything and also getting pregnant by somebody that you don't want to be pregnant by. So, yeah, or getting pregnant at a time in your life when you're like, I'm not ready to be pregnant. I can't take it as baby. Like, I'm like out of school, or, I'm still, or I need to go back to school, or whatever it is, I don't have a job, and, you get yourself into a bit of a little situation, when you don't think, properly, and you make like rash decisions such as like hooking up. But there's nothing wrong with it. With hooking up, I think a lot of people go through that phase, and then after a while, you're like, yeah. No, I'm not really on that. I'm not here for that anymore. And then you kind of move on to something else a little bit more serious, which I think is definitely ideal, and I think it's really great. So yeah, I do think a lot of people in our generation are sometimes scared of marriage. I think a lot of that comes from them being from like single parent homes. Like, I myself have a single mom. I was raised by a single mother, so it can come from that, being raised by a single mom, just not saying, or if you grew up seeing your mom and your dad argue with each other, or your mom was in an abusive relationship, like you don't know how a good relationship works. You don't know how that looks between two people, and so you're like, well, how am I supposed to know? So you grew up and do just pretty much anything, especially women, like if you don't have a good connection with your dad, like, I don't know my dad, I'll be honest, I don't know him, and so it's like, yeah, there are a lot of people like me out there, so yeah, it can really affect your decisions. I've made horrible decisions too, as far as like dating goes, because you do not know, you don't have a model. When I was younger, my mom didn't date a lot. She didn't. She's dating now, but she wasn't there when me and my brother were growing up. So it's like, you don't know nothing. You don't know. You have no model of how a good relationship works. You've seen it. Even if the relationship was good at first and it fell apart, that's all you remember, was that it fell apart. And so you like, I still don't know what to do. So you make these like really whack decisions, that can kind of get you, on a path that you don't want to be on, So, yeah, I do think that there is a big fear, with our generation. They're not sure if they want to. Also, marriage, I think, scares a lot of people, because they're like, oh, this is the commitment, just being there with this one person. Like, are you serious? One person. And they start to think, if I'm not single no more, I don't have as many skills, I have to, I can't do that no more. Like, I got to be committed to this one person. I think that really like scares people sometimes. So yeah, but the other side of the equation is there are actually a lot of people in our generation who are not afraid of marriage, and they are. I know a lot of them who are, people I went to high school with, or either people where I started off as a freshman in college with, and they are like married now, and they got 2 or 3 kids, and or a kid on the way, and I'm really happy for them. I actually want to have kids myself pretty soon because I'm like baby obsessed, but that's for another video another day. But yeah, they're married and everything. They have kids, and they're not really even thinking like that, so they're not afraid of dropping the broom at all. They're like, hey, I'm all for it. So yeah, that's the other side to the coin. The younger generation like actually stepping it up and wanting to get into have a family unit faster. So that just kind of makes me wonder like why they decided to do that. I think I want to kind of research a little bit more about that, and maybe interview some people because I'm a journalist, by the way. So, excuse me. So I'll be able to like, do a story, and then, if I do, I'll leave a link. I'll do a video, and I'll drop a link so you guys can like click onto it and like read it and see, the story. So yeah, I would definitely like to talk to some younger, some young couples and everything, and just kind of see like what brought them to make that decision. So, yeah. Okay, so the next topic that I've been thinking about is I live in Chicago. So there's been a lot of violence in Chicago. I think even if you live in other cities, like you have heard about the violence in Chicago. Not saying that there's not violence everywhere else, because violence is everywhere. Just like good is everywhere, evil is as well. So there's a lot of violence very prevalent in Chicago, especially like on the south side. I think actually it's like every side now, but mostly like south side between like mostly young black men. It's a lot of young black men, and then like young black people in general getting killed, by like, and a lot of them are innocent bystanders. They're not in gang activity, but they happen to be around it. They live like in places like Inglewood or like Woodlawn, or they live in these areas where that kind of stuff is really, really prevalent. I live in Rosemont myself, but yeah, it's just a lot of that going on like all the time, and it's so sad, especially like little kids. They're little kids who die. They're like 7 years old. They don't know anything about no gangs, and they're getting killed because they're out playing. When people decide I'm gonna shoot somebody, I'm gonna go out and get whoever I've been trying to get, and then the little kids out, and then they get hurt, and I'm like, are you serious? Like you just kill somebody's baby. So a mom has to go through bearing her child who's like not even a teenager yet. Even if they were, still it's like they gotta. Are you serious? Like they gotta bury their child. Just like the whole, Darion Albert case that happened a couple of years ago when he got beat up on the way home from school. And he was 16 at the time. Then Blair Holt died. He was like 15, 16. He got shot on the CTA bus when he was trying to shield another girl from, he was trying to shield a girl from getting hit by a stray bullet. So, I mean, he died a hero, and his parents, like, they actually talk and speak out against violence now, which is great. But I just think it's crazy, like, for parents to have to go through that. Like, I think it's really hard to bury a child, especially, like, a child that died from senseless violence. Like, my child died for no reason, basically, because they want to act a fool, they want to get out here. And, this is crazy. It's a lot of craziness. And I'm like, what was the point of doing that? We have to stop. And also, it's this thing with, like, people who getting robbed now, like on the trains, the buses, all that kind of stuff. Like, people stealing iPhones and all that kind of stuff. Okay, it used to be back in the day when somebody would get robbed, they would rob you, but you would still be alive. Like, you would live to tell the story. Nowadays, you might live through it and you might not, because I don't know what it is about. It's like people are really, they love gratuitous violence. They love violence, and they will, even if they get the money about you, they still kill you. Just for the hell of it. I'm like, you shot me? Like, I gave you what you wanted, and you still killed me. So, or you still hurt me or injured me in some sort of way. So, I don't really understand where the whole violence thing is coming from. I think a lot of them, a lot of these kids are like victims of circumstance. They don't have good father figures. They don't have, their moms may not be in their lives, or if they are, they may not be the best moms they could be. They're going through a lot of hard stuff, and like nobody's ever taught them how to deal with a situation in a logical manner without getting a 9mm, and popping somebody. It's because, oh, you looked at me funny, or you said something to me. I know you was talking behind my back, or I'm gonna get you, or blah blah blah. I don't like you. I'm like, you can like. I mean, I got a lot of people I don't like, but they still alive. And if they did, I didn't kill them. Okay, I didn't do nothing. So it's like, you can't just go around taking people's lives because you didn't give them life, and so you cannot take it away. Who are you? Like, who died and made you God? Who the hell are you? You're very audacious, aren't you? Think like it's okay to go around and pop people, randomly. Stop doing that. And also, all you doing is tearing your own community up. And it's like, that shows you don't have a lot of responsibility. Like, you don't really care. Because you ripping your community apart. I mean, it's just absolutely, it's nuts. It really is. So, I don't know, that kind of really bothers me, and it's just really, it's just real crazy. So, I just wonder like what they can do to kind of make it stop happening. I know they have programs like the like ceasefire, well not programs, but like that's an organization, ceasefire, and I know. Let me see. They have something called the Violence Interrupters. The Interrupters. They had a documentary about that. It's a great movie. So if you haven't seen it, I suggest you see it. Called The Interrupters. And I know Amina Matthews. She's one of the only female interrupters because a lot of guys like they're like ex gang members and stuff, but she's one of the only like female interrupters, and she herself, she's the daughter of like Jeff Ford, and he was like a notorious gang member, like I think in the 60s, 70s. So yeah, she's his daughter, but she does a lot of great work in her community, Inglewood, to try to make it safer. And so, interrupter's job is just to interrupt. They find out where shooting's gonna take place, or if a shooting's gonna take place, they go there and they try to like talk to the person who planned on doing the shooting, so that they can intercept and keep somebody from dying. And they've saved people. I think it works. I mean, it's a method. It's something. It's a method to the madness. It's a really dangerous method. I think one of them got hurt. So it can be hard. You never know what's gonna happen because you putting yourself in the middle of somebody else's business. But I mean, if it saves your community, then go for it. And ABC7, anytime they do ABC7 News, anytime they do like a report on violence, they have something on their website where you can go to the website and click like stop the violence, so you can try to find ways to help your own community out. So I think that's really great. But yeah, I definitely think an idea of mine I had to try to stop it, counteract it, is maybe make more community centers, which a lot of people have done. Try to have more places where kids can come after school and feel safe, until their parents come get them, or relatives come pick them up. Yeah, something like that. You need to have more constructive activities going on, and you need to have people come out and talk to these, young men about like better ways to deal with stuff, than like fighting and stabbing and shooting people. That's just mess. Okay, that's just mess. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that's very ratchet. That's some ratchetness. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, I think that was the last of my topic. So I'm gonna shut up now, y'all. Know I've been going for like 22 minutes, 18 seconds. Okay, so I'm gonna shut up now. I want to thank you for watching my first video. I should be back this week or next week, like with another video. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna leave like all my information in the more info box below. I'm gonna see if I can put that in, like my Twitter information and all that kind of stuff, and where you could like email me at. Also, don't forget to drop a comment. Go ahead, drop a comment below. I'm really open to hearing like what you have to say about any of the topics I talked about, or just in general, you want to ask me a question about me. Go ahead, leave a comment below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button right at the top. It's free for those of y'all who wonder, do I have to pay for a subscription? No, you don't. You don't have to pay for a subscription. All you gotta do is click the button. Click the subscribe button. Click the like button. That's the thumbs up button, or the thumbs down button if I just didn't do it for you. Go ahead. But click something, okay? And, leave me a comment, share it, whatever. Share the video on Facebook, Twitter, your blog, wherever you are. If you want me to follow your blog or follow you or whatever, just leave your information in the comments section below. Also, you can post like reply videos and stuff like that. So yeah, so that about does it. That about does it for this first edition of Lisa Renee TV. I hope you enjoyed and got something out of it. And other than that, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.